Okay, hi. So basically, I'm going to do the 3D Studio Max Jam. Um, get this here. Make sure I'm doing the right screen capture. Actually, screen share. I mean. So let's go to the screen share, which is this one. I hope that. Well, that's strange. It doesn't show these images. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the cylinder. I had to revert to the. There we go. Yeah. I had to revert to the 3D Studio Max 2014 actually because 2015 is really doing crazy things. So it should work this time with 2014. If it doesn't, then I'm calling it an evening with this little experiment doing Google Hangouts. Okay, so press F4 here to get it right. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to join me for this Hangout because I haven't really advertised it. And perhaps people see it and they don't want to do it, but that's life. But as you see in the future, I'm going to do some more just live hangouts and hopefully get more people to join, including yourself. So convert this to an editable poly. This is an Adamski UFO. It was actually a fake UFO, I think. And I'm doing this for a piece of artwork that I'm making, my digital artwork, and these little UFOs are going to put them up flying around a big cityscape. It's kind of like a bit of a nod towards conspiracy theories, this sort of thing, a bit of something like that. Give it a bit of. I don't believe in conspiracy theories, by the way. Really, it's just I'm quite. I quite want to believe, but I really don't think that they exist. I think that life is too complicated when you're a president or a prime minister to hatch such a complicated thing. Okay, so just trying to make this top here. Just get the general shape roughed out. Then I'm going to go. This bit's going to be the windows. So here we go. So that I'm going to take that down there. So that I'm going to give that 2. Oh, some horrible thing there. Some spyware probably that I should have removed because I did a virus spyware removal the other day, but it seems to have popped up again. So I'm going to extrude this. So that's going to be that wing bit, as perhaps we call it. I'm going to do a better version of this on YouTube as a non-Google one version. So this is just a little experiment. Okay, so really it's very easy. So we're just going around the cylinder and extruding it. Yeah. So I'm going to get the profile shape first. Like so. Get it out there. Just very rough. Dimensions don't have to be too accurate if you're doing art or computer art. If you're going to do really high-end architectural stuff, then yeah, dimensions are more important. But as I say that, always think about dimensions because I've seen so much bad stuff where the dimensions are just ridiculous. You've got to get your dimensions fairly believable. Think of it as a real sculptural object, And I guess that's where my traditional art training comes in handy. To think about space, shape. You should be looking at sort of real artworks, the real world, sketching. Sketching's really important, as you know, with what I do. If any of you know my actual work. Okay, so there's the UFO. Just going to take that down a bit because now I've got me paranoid about dimensions. Whoops. I don't want to make a ridiculously dimensioned UFO. Take that a bit. I mean, as I said, this could go on forever, I'm just showing you the concepts here. So look at the perspective. Okay, so this kind of thing going on here. I still think this should be a bit wider. Yep, yep, yep. Take it up. And then we're going to, I'm going to work on this top here, like so. So detail in these areas here. I'm not using keyboard shortcuts here because I want you to see the actual actions on the tabs. So there we go, we've got a round bit here coming up. And the top's quite far further in, it's a bit wide here. So, and again, you know, the quality on this Google screencast is not very good. If you've got any, if you know of any solutions how to solve this, it would be great, you know, because I'd really like to get a really high quality Google Air Hangout using 3D Studio Max, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's possible. There's other software out there that does good quality streaming. It looks amazing. I saw one earlier on. They were doing a 20 sort of a constant stream of ZBrush, so someone was just making ZBrush all the time. So we've got this cap here. Going to extrude it up a bit. Like so. Take it down. Okay. Extrude it in. No, inset it in, sorry. It's too much. Wrong way. Like so. Extrude. Push down. Extrude. Take in like that for now. We can detail it in later. There you go. So there's the simple UFO. Unfortunately, in 2015, 3D Studio Max 2015 is really good because it's got this placement object that you select an object and it places it automatically on another object, which is, you know, really good. But obviously I had to go back to this version and it doesn't have it there. So slice plane again, slice it down here, slice like that, bring it out. There you go. So sharp edge down here. See, so it's taking shape. So it's a very simple procedure to do this. I'm not going to show you everything. Good idea. Something I haven't done is to save as. So just put it here in Adamski. I'll save it in a proper location later on. Okay, so if we go onto here, we see that it's coming recessed here like a nice little saucepan that I'm sure it probably was. G to take grid off. Okay. No guests as yet. That's okay. Inset. I'm just up in Edinburgh for there's the festival here, and you get shows sometimes in the festival where there's only one person that comes. Well, you know, they've done better than I have. I have no one that's come. But in the future, you will. I'm sure you'll be there, or somebody will be there anyway. So let's take it down here, like that. So as you can see, we can recess this in. I think that goes in a bit. You know, when you're working with photographs, it's not always clear. Sometimes you have to guess a bit. And you know, if you see, as I say, doing art, it's not quite so rigid and accurate. You know? But remember to make your dimensions and scales at least believable, you know, or aesthetic. You know? If you're doing a cartoon even, they have to have some sort of aesthetic value. Just like this, even if the shapes are, even if it's a cartoon, the shapes have to have some sort of, you know, relation to each other. Look at things like Pixar if you're into that. And the colors as well when you're lighting it. So that's the bottom. We can put these bulbs in, you know, as a separate objects a bit later. Okay, so that's the basic shape of the UFO. And here are the windows. So for the windows are actually recessed. So what I'd probably do is to, I'm not actually sure at this point, I would basically, yeah, I would turbo smooth it in 2014. See how that's getting on. Yeah, like so. It's looking quite nice, but it's a bit too smooth around there. So we do it by, separate it by materials or smoothing groups, and you can fiddle around with that. So let's take this turbo smooth off for now, and we've got these recesses here, this extra detailing here. Actually, first we should really think about working this out here. So I'm going to loop this and then chamfer to get that nice smooth edge there. Just have it one chamfer for now. Yeah, like that, like so, like that. Okay, and then we've got this area here, so it's coming out a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go to the left, go here, and slice plane, and we're going to have 1, 2, 3 segments up at this bit. So I'm going to slice it here, and there, and there. And as we can see, we've got 3 bands here. So I'm going to go down here and make 3 little bands here. 1, 2, and 3. I've made these bands a bit too, the total length of these bands a bit too deep, so I'm going to take that up there like that, like so. And then we've got these bands here, and it's only really this one that comes out the most, but these, looks like these come out a little bit. Yep. So select all these bands around here. Okay. Make sure the top's not selected, and then press extrude and extrude along local normal so it comes out, you know, evenly like that. Yeah. Okay, and then just extrude in a bit, extrude out a bit, in out in a bit like that. Okay. So now we've got our recess coming out. Not a recess, it's my technical jargon for construction is not very good. Go back to here, and we're going to make this band come out here. So just like so. And see what I did there? I do this and press Control. So when you do that, it goes all the way around. Yeah, it loops it. So let's do it again. Have a look at this and hold down. Sorry, Shift, not Control. So extrude along normal. Great. So now we've got that nice little detail, like so. Just going to do the bands for you now. Yeah, as I see, no one at all has joined. Oh, we've got 1 viewer. Wonder who that is. Oh well, someone's watching. So these are the bands here. I'll continue then. Unless that view is me, I don't know. So here's the bands, and I've done 3 here, but obviously we need a bend in each band, so we're going to have to make it a bit more detailed at this point here. So, okay, so go down to that. Select this sort of area here. Get a slice plane down here. And then I think we're going to put it a bit like so, like that. And then again, we're going to go here, like so. And then the very bottom, like so. P for perspective, go up here. Okay, and then we're going to have the bandings. So the first one, that's the recess, so that's okay, so that's, yeah, so that's that. Left, I'm going to pull that up a small bit, sorry. We is a Scottish word. Many people say, yeah, I'm not Scottish. I'm actually half Scottish, but there you go. So, and so that's kind of recessed there. I'll loop that, scale it a little bit, like that. Oh, so now we've got this bit, a sort of suggestion of this, like here. And then I'm going to go to this bit and loop it around like so again, and then have a bit of a bit going like that again. Move it down. All right, so that's 1, 2, and the final one. Oh, I think I'm going to have to do another bit here. So get the slice plane. One more bands here, like so. So then take it up here. So I'm going to take this in like that. So now we have these bands, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, if you wanted to, you could use tubes, tube loops that go around, donuts, I mean, that go around, but I want the whole model to be as a whole, well, pretty much all of it, okay, most of it. But these bits down here, these would be quite difficult to model from these areas here. So what I'm going to do is just make a sphere, like so. Just going to go to the top, save this as again. When you save it, try to do a plus, because if this crashes and you can't get it back, then you can go to the previous version. Or if you want to go back, if you make a mistake, you can kind of go back and then import and combine, your objects. Okay, so make these spheres, just a normal sphere, like so. Actually, one tip is if you want a sphere with quads in, don't make a primitive sphere. Let's make it simplicity. Let's make it 1, 1, 1, and we can scale it down. Scale it in a minute. So it's a cube, not a scube, and then we're going to scale it down, like so. Voila. And it's green at the moment. That kind of annoys me. Like so. Get the the length segments to about this much. 6. Well, five's a good number, isn't it? 5. And what we do, we go to the modifier list, and we go down to spherify. And as you can see, it's quite cool. Spherify 100% makes the circle with quads in. If you make a primitive circle, sorry, a sphere, oh God, my job. You make a sphere from a primitive look, immediately you've got tris. So obviously, it's always best to try and model with quads. So this is hidden, so it's like half a sphere. Yeah, I mean, it's, in theory, you probably should cut it in half, but what I'm probably going to do is do a compound, a probe boolean on this. So then, it's going to get rid of the hidden bits anyway. So at the moment, obviously, this looks too big. Scale it down. Scale it down a bit more. So I think that looks okay. It's more than half in, so it's about there. Okay, and then now we've got one of our spheres inside the ship, like that. I think it's going to be a bit bigger, like so. Okay, so that's in one bit there, and they're kind of triangles. So I'm going to do this instance, so it's any dimension I change in that one, it will change with this one, because these are identical components in the ship. Yeah. Again, instance. Yeah. I mean, they're not exactly in the right place, but for the sake of this screencast, this Google Air screencast, then that will do, right? Let's take it to perspective. Quite nice wireframe going on here. Shaded. So now we've got basically the UFO, yeah? And these windows are actually recessed. So I'm in, as I say, in 2015, it's got a really good select and place tool up here, but we don't have this because it's not because my 2015 is messing up at the moment, so I had to, as I say, revert to this one, 3D Studio Max 2014. So that's the windows. Okay, take the windows up here. Get a ring. Take the cylinder down a bit. Height segments. Take it down. Sides, okay. Okay, part is about the right size for this. Take it to a path constraint. I'm going to try it this way. That's path. Okay. Scale it down. Perspectivize. Pick it up. And have it so it goes in a little bit into our ship, like so. And then these seem to be low down. There. So they're almost touching the bandings. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 portholes in an arrangement, like in a triangle arrangement. Okay. So just for the sake of quickness, I'm just going to do this very quick. It's not going to follow the. Follow. Change that. Excellent. So 1. So 3 more. This is not very accurate. I should really do this as an array or something. Okay. So, didn't know it did that. Okay, so let's take it to the top. That'll do. Okay, instance. Okay. Whoops. Didn't space it very well there. And then I'm going to just do it again. Very, very inaccurate. 2, but 3. Well, but for the sake of time, so because people watching, one person. So I'll save that as a plus at this crux position. I'm going to go in, see if all this is. Scale it down a bit so it goes in. Whoops. I scaled it non-uniformly. Okay. Yeah, they're all pretty much inside the Adamski UFO, so go back to that. If I had more, well, I've got as much time as I want, but for the sake of this, this tutorial, yeah, if I had more time, I think these windows are slightly concave outwards, so I would make this convex, so that when we boolean it, it would show up. Okay, but for this sake, as I keep saying, there's no point. Okay, so I'm going to go to compound objects now, and then I'm going to go to pro boolean, and I'm going to start picking. Okay, so you ready? So that actually hasn't worked. I'm going to have to find out why. It's a bit buggy, isn't it? Why is that not working? Okay, let's have a look. Let's try and remember. It's a bit strange. All right. What I'm going to do is just take that in there, just cheat a bit. So, oh, I know, because they're primitives. I think that's why. Select all, Control and A. Okay, so then now all editable polys. So let's try it now. Start picking. Well, it's still not doing very well, is it? And that's really annoying. Okay, so let's go to standards, make a box, see if it's going to work here. Go to poly. Here we go, and let's see if it will work for this one. I think I know. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. We can forget the portholes for now. So the portholes are all down here anyway. Here's a pro boolean. So that's nice. Look at that. That actually cuts into the ship. And make sure it's on quads, like this. So make quadrilaterals. Because quads are nice. Yeah. So remember that quads are nice. Okay, good. Move this up. Like so. And then I'm going to make some more cylinders and see if they'll work again. That looks nasty there. That's a yeah, that's not looking good, is it? So let's see what happens if we turbo smooth this. yeah, it's quite jaggedy there. So the turbo smooth here didn't really do very good things, yeah. And what I'd probably do is go back when I make this again in 3ds Max. I might go back and actually what I'm going to do is tape that right back down there, so it's not Pro Boolean anymore. Go way back. Okay, that's good. And all I'm going to do is attach it, so we don't actually bother with the Pro Boolean there because it's just an attachment. Okay, so then it hasn't messed up any of this nice smooth surface. Let's delete those nasty cylinders. Just going to try again with the cylinder. So let's get the cylinder, standard primitive cylinder. So take it on the left. Okay. Perspective. Let's see if this will work. So compound objects. Pro Boolean. Because it's union, so it's going to be a subtraction. Oops. Yeah, I know what it is. It's late. Okay. So what you do, just check this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go offline and I'm going to do this. The initial idea was to, yeah, I'm going to have to sort that out. Oh, that's okay. There we go. Voila. So the initial idea was to do this version because it's quite jaggedy and blurry on the, the Hangout, and then do another version on YouTube. But I quite like this model, so what I'm going to do is to save it, and then you'll see on, whoops, that's not good at it. Then you'll see on the actual YouTube video, I'll continue with this model, and I'll get it all good. I'll get this bit smooth. I'll get the windows nice. I'll get the windows nice and convex, so they come out a little bit. So you'll see me finishing off this model to make it into a nice finished model. So there you go. That's my UFO for now, the Adamski UFO. And I hope you enjoyed this, and put any comments because it'll be on YouTube now. And as I say, subscribe to my YouTube channel to see the next version of this and other stuff as well. And obviously I do lots of tutorials on YouTube. I can do obviously one-to-one tutorials as well. And I've got some cool products coming out soon. I'm going to do a book on 3D Studio Max tips. That's coming on. I've got some stuff that's on the site called Skill Jar, which they're tutorials, and I'm doing some tutorials in Blender, etc., etc. So, okay, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon, hopefully. Cheers.